Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. It's your brother Kazak here at the last portion of the Shabbat, and it's just about to grow dark here. And I wanted to bid you all a blessed new year. We haven't had an opportunity to say that to you, but the new year is officially here. On next weekend, many of us will be traveling to and from various different locations into various communities where we will be celebrating or memorializing the Passover, Pesach, and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And so we want to bid you all a Chag Sameach on behalf of myself and my Isha, who's sitting beside me here, being quiet as usual. And I wanted to, we're actually here at the beachfront in the county of where I grew up at in Maryland. And this is the beach called Betterton Beach. And I wanted to just kind of give you a little bit of a word of encouragement. Okay, pardon me. Some reason or other. Whenever I do videos, it's always something. My eyes start itching as soon as I hit the record, which lets me know that the enemy hates when I start talking on the camera. It never failed. When I was in Chicago, same thing. I'd be out of the lakefront, and eyes start itching or nose start itching or anything, because the enemy has always wanted to shut me down. But be that as it may, I'm not going to allow the enemy to shut me down, because I was raised up to speak, and I'm going to speak. And I'm going to speak until the Most High says anything different. So, as I said, I want to just kind of give you an encouragement. Many of you have been in this walk for a long time, and we've seen a lot of things happening in Israel. We've seen a lot of changes happen with people. We've seen people come in this walk and walk right back out the door. We've seen people who were led by following after individuals or camps and not following the Most High. So when you as an individual follow a teacher or a leader or a camp and not follow the Most High, it's very easy for you to get misled and misdirected. It's very easy for you to get misled and misdirected. I'm going to keep talking. Now my nose is itching. I'm going to keep talking. But I remember also, too, like last week, my eyes started tearing up while I was on the camera. I think it's my wife and I, we had this thing. I read the book of Jubilees, and it talked about the spirit of the Eldjos. And those of you that don't know what that is, read the book of Jubilee. You'll find out that those spirits are real, and they realize that their time of judgment is coming. So anybody that's speaking on in any direction as pertaining to the judgment of those fallen ones, they're going to attack every way possible they can. And so we know that to be a fact. But anyway, I want to encourage. So if you are following, if you're in this walk and you're following teachers, Maureen, your favorite moray, or your camp, it's time out. And it looks wonderful. I saw a video, somebody shared a video with a group of Israelite brothers dressed in purple. And it was like a multitude of them on the streets, okay? And I don't know if you saw that. Now, did you see that? But that's all fine and well. It's good to see us traveling in numbers. It's good to see us, looking strong because we are a mighty army. But let me just remind you that the Most High is coming for a remnant, right? Not the masses of people, right? So don't feel bad because you're in this walk and You're not connected to a mega congregation. You don't see a multitude, 10,000, 5,000, 1,500. I mean, if you see 10 Hebrews in one place at one time that's serving Yah, that's a mega congregation right there, because this walk, this is a remnant, not a mass. You have the first fruits, and maybe I'll talk about that during this Feast of Weeks coming up, as we go in, as we come out of the 7-day unleavened bread feast to go into the Feast of Weeks, or the Feast of First Fruits, which is the 7 weeks that leads up to the climax, or the day, the 50th day, or what we call Shabbat, or what in the English tongue they call Pentecost, right? But the Most High has always dealt with Israel, not in the masses, in the remnant. So because you feel like, because you're the only one, it seems like, in your family, or only one in your household, or only one in your city, or only one in your town that's serving Yah, don't be discouraged. But at the same time, don't allow yourself to become self-righteous and demonize those that are not in this walk. Why? Because it is the Most High who opened up your eyes and understanding to know that you are one of those who he has called out of darkness into the light, right? So remember when Maish and I was talking this week, we was going over something where the multitude, the Messiah gave the 70 the power over unclean spirits, and they went out and they laid hands on the sick and they cast out devils and all of that. Then they came back slapping each other 5. Man, we went out there, boy, it was on and popping. I mean, we laid hands and the demon was crying. I mean, we saw people getting healed. We saw all kinds of miraculous powers of the Most High. And Yahshua told him, he said, don't rejoice that the devils are subject to you. I've given you power to do that. But you rejoice for the mere simple fact that your name is written in heaven, that you are a part of that remnant. That's the key we got to understand, brothers and sisters. This is not a mass a mass exodus of the whole nation of Israel, stand up being a great army. Remember now, the prophecy, the book of Yechezkel talked about the valley of dry bones, right? And he told the prophet to speak into the wind, right? And then so as he began to prophesy, began to speak into the wind, right? What happened? The bodies started coming alive, right? The bones started gathering together, right? We are right now in the valley of dry bones. And if you see a mass group of people that's walking this walk, beware. Even Yahshua said what? That broad is the way, right? That lead to what? Destruction. But narrow is the way. And he said there be few that shall find that way. It is our duty to be a part of that few that find the way. Don't be alarmed because the masses is going this way and you feel like I'm going to be a part of this. It's the few. It's the few, the chosen. You know, see, the military stole that from the Most High, but it is the few that the Most High is looking for, the chosen, right? Those who are called into the walk, not those that have, you know, we had a saying years ago that some were called and some were sent, right? And then others just put on their coats and went. So that's the question we got to ask today. Are you part of the called, chosen, and sent? Or are you one of those that just you gravitated to the masses and you started following the masses? And that's how we can be distracted because we follow the masses, right? We want to follow a teacher that's got the greatest following, right? Remember when Yahshua was teaching? First he started out, boy, he had masses coming up to the mountain to hear him teach. And then when Yahshua started really getting down to the brass tactics and started teaching the truth, people started walking away. Little by little. And the multitudes went away, right? So what are you saying, brother? I'm saying don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. Don't be impressed, motivated, inspired by the masses of people that you see waking up. See, one of the dangerous things about Israel waking up to their identity is that Satan, who deceived the whole world, can take and deceive the world even in the identity movement. So many know they're Israel, but they're still rejecting the covenant. I said this a year or two ago about this great revival of identity that's taking place across the globe. Everybody's waking up knowing they're Israel, but still serving the Lord. Not turning away from idolatry and paganism, but they just embrace the identity to continue along in the idolatry and witchcraft. You're better off not knowing than knowing and rejecting the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why we're in these lands of captivity, not because we lost our identity, because we lost the sight of who we are as a people. The Most High sent us into captivity because while we were in our own land, what do? We serve the Lord. Right? We serve Baal. You know, we serve Halel, the son of the morning. You know, we went and flipped the script, right? We started worshiping and bowing down in front of images, right? Your moray, in many cases, and this is sad, and I know you're going to hate me for this, but I got to tell the truth. Many Israelites worship their moray. Let me let that sink in for a second. I remember many years ago, people tried to get me to start a movement, and the Most High would not let me do it. As much as I wanted to, Most High said nope. Because see, what happens is, remember, I learned from the best, right? And who's the best I learned from? Moshe. Moshe had a whole multitude of Israelites together following him out of Egypt. Let me ask you a question. Moshe was a man that talked face to face with the Most High. Didn't he not? But did Moshe make it to the promised land? No, he did not. Do you know why he didn't make it? He allowed the people, hear me now, to view him as if he was the Elohim of Israel. That's what the Most High said. You did not sanctify or set me apart in the eyes of the people. When I told you to speak to the rock, and what did you do? You hit the rock. So we've got to be very, very careful of who we are serving. Are we serving our camp? Are we serving our moray? Are we serving our spiritual gift? Because some people are serving their spiritual gift. They're not serving Yah. Spirit told me. You know, if it doesn't line up with what the Most High has already said in his word, let's question whether or not that really, what spirit is that told me that? Was it Yah or was it some other spirit? Was it the spirit of the Eljos? Okay. Now, as an encouragement, I want to encourage you to fight the good fight of faith. You know, because a lot of people have fallen by the wayside. And I'm telling you, this Hebrew Israelite identity movement is dangerous because it is isolated from obedience to the Most High in many forms, on many levels. Many people don't obey the Most High, but they follow the teachings of their camp, of their moray, or even their own self-interest, right? I say this 1,000 times. I can be wrong, and many times I am wrong. I'll admit that. But one thing I know is certain, Yah is right all the time. He is the only one that's right all the time. Although I may miss it, and although I may fall short, but one thing I know, as long as my heart is towards him and open to be chastised, to be rebuked, to be corrected, I'm going to be all right. But when I get to the point where I'm the moray and nobody got this like us, that's a dangerous position to be in. And I see it. I've seen it happen. The Most High has allowed many of us that were in the forefront to be moved out of the forefront because people began to worship the morays. People began to worship the Maureen, the teachers, right? And not worship the Most High. The Most High wants us to know him. See, we know the book. A lot of people know the book, but don't know him. Let that sink in for a minute. When you know him, right, you know the thing that pleases him and the thing that he rejects, right? We are facing right now, coming up on the unleavened bread. The Most High is instructing us to get the leaven out of our houses. Get the leaven out of our lives, right? That bread that we are going to be taking out of our house, the leaven, is symbolic of sin, right? And I don't mean the things that we have mastered that we get rid of, but the hidden things, right? The prideful mentality, the self-righteous attitude that nobody's right but me. The Most High showed me about you. I don't want the Most High to show me about nobody else but me. You know, because it's me standing before him. He's not going to come to me and say, ask me about what my brother or sister did. When it's time for us to be judged, the Most High coming to us and saying, what have you done? Have you submitted your will to me? Yeah, but that woman I was married to, you know, that man I was married to, you know, or that child that I had, you know, they just, no, Most High don't care about all of that. You care about that and you get worked up over that. But the Most High cares about what did you personally do with your relationship with me versus what did you do as a group. See, we want to make this what they say, a corporate thing. You know, yeah, years ago, it was a big saying, you know, the corporate anointing. I don't know if I can find that in the scriptures, a corporate anointing, but I do know one thing, that the Most High said that he says, every man will be judged of the deeds that's done in the body. We're not going to be judged based on the deeds that my Isha did in her body. I'm not going to be judged based on the deeds that my brother did in his body. But the Most High said what? We're going to be judged by the deeds that we do in our body. Okay? So, as I close, and this eye is still itching, let's prepare ourselves for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. One of the key spirits that we need to check at the door is the self-righteous Hebrew Israelite I'm right spirit. right? Because you didn't calculate the new moon the way I calculated the new moon, so you got the wrong feast day. Wrong. You humble yourself, okay? You may feel like you're right, but what you may need to do, what we may need to do, I'll make it personal as well, is you calculated the feast day and boy, you on point. I'm always right, okay? Well, humble yourself, right? I think Shaul said something like, every man's way is right in his own eyes, right? So let's look to our brother or sister. Maybe they might have it totally wrong. But out of sincerity, they attempted to calculate the feast day. Maybe they're a day early, maybe they're a day late, maybe they're a whole month late, right? So as a humble, in humility, I'm going to rejoice with you. I'm not going to tell you how wrong I think you are because I think you got the wrong date. I'm going to rejoice with you. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to celebrate with you. Right. And then if the Most High permits an opportunity for me to share my level of understanding, I'm going to share it. And then together we can walk in harmony and the complete full knowledge of the whole thing that the Most High has given us. Right. Thing with Shaul that said one plants, right? One waters, but Yah gives the increase. That's the thing we want to focus in on. We want to focus in on Yah being the one who gives the increase and not Chag Yah. Because I didn't die for nobody. Right? And I don't have heaven, as they say, or hell to put you in. So you're not serving me or Malachi, the ministry that the Most High put me over. None of that, right? All of that is vanity. We are servants of the Most High Yah, period. Right? Let all men be liars, but let Yah's word be true, because he is true. And if Yah is telling you this is what is required, this is what we do, regardless of what Chag Yah or any other Moreh says. Yah is right all the time, right? Now, if I was lying on this YouTube channel, telling y'all I'm the only one got the truth, and I was beating people, see, the problem with a lot of Israelites is we like to be beat to submission. Am I right? We don't like to humbly submit to Yah. We want somebody to just beat us over the head and tell us how wrong we are, and tell us that y'all need to get straight. And then we come and we basically are doing it while we're in that person's presence. Because once we leave them, we go back to life as usual. But while we're around that person, when that person's talking, everybody get tight and get quiet. Yeah, Moreh's talking. Yeah, Moreh, huh? Yeah. See, that's a false faith. That we need to drop during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's leaven, right? We should speak the truth in our heart, right? If we don't agree, it's okay for you to say, Moreh, I hear what you're saying, but can you show me in the scriptures? Because I don't agree with what you're saying. And nobody should listen to a Moreh that's tell you that this is what this means. Because when I tell you that this is what this means, I'm playing a dangerous position. Yah don't need my help to explain to you what this means. It's called reading and comprehension. And if we are slow in comprehending, that's why we keep meditating. That's why the Most High told Moshe, and he told Yehoshua, the son of Nun. He said, this law shall not depart from thy lips, but you shall meditate. Right? That's when Shaul picked it up and said it this way. Faith comes by hearing. Hearing what? The instructions of the Most High. The more we hear it, the more we understand it, the more we see it, right? Okay? We see through a glass darkly, but as we surrender and submit to the will of the Most High, then he will begin to reveal to us what it is in its clarity, right? We won't need nobody. That's what we talked about, the new covenant, right? He said, I will make a renewed covenant. The King James says new, but it's nothing brand new. It's like a new moon. It's not a brand new moon. It's a new phase. It's a refreshing. It's a repairing, right? So the covenant that the Most High said that I will make with Israel is a renewal, a refreshed phase of our relationship with him, right? That's what that new. He said, and when that new covenant, that refreshed covenant comes, you won't need nobody to teach you nothing. Because all, he says, shall know me from the least to the greatest. You won't need a Kazak Yah. You won't need a whoever Yah. All you need is the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah said, I will give you, right? I will give you the knowledge that you will know me from the least unto the greatest. And that's what we should be striving for, brothers and sisters, to be more like Yah, not like our camp. See, we got too many people want to be like the camp. We want to be like Yah. Like Yah, not like the camp. We want to be like Yah. And when we submit ourselves to him, when we come before his presence, when we fellowship with him, when we learn his ways, right? We become just like him on the earth. Not religious, because the Most High, see, that's the thing. A lot of people are religious. Most High is not religious, right? His way, his being is the way of life. And everything that he gave to us has to do with life, right? Anything that takes away from your life is not of Yah. So when we walk in the way of Yah, we walk in the way of life, right? So as I close, be encouraged, be inspired, be exceedingly glad in knowing that, yes, the Most High is soon to gather us from the lands of captivity after the remnant that he has numbered has come into the fold. Okay? Many that are the masses are going to be left behind. Just like when I was in the church, they had a series called Left Behind. The masses will be left behind, but only the remnant is going to be gathered to go back home to be a part of that 144,000 that serve and follow Yah, that are part of his entourage, if you will. So let's get the leaven, the bread leaven out, but more importantly, let's get the leaven, the leaven of malice, envy, strife, because there are people that are jealous. How could you be an Israelite and be jealous of other Israelites that's trying to point the people of Yah to the Most High? Right? We got to get rid of that malice, that envy, that jealousy, that strife, that sedition, that heresies, that lasciviousness, that idolatry, right? The fornication, right? What, did I miss any? I covered them all. The Hebrews said, let us lay aside the weight and the sin. And my issue taught me something the other day, right? You say, brother, she's a woman, she's supposed to cheat. Listen, shut up. Where in Torah does it say a woman can't teach nothing? Does it say it in Torah? Show me the page, show me the place in Torah where it says a woman can't teach nothing. You can't show me nothing. You can't show me that in Torah, but you can show me your interpretation of that in the letter of Shaul. Send me an email. I'm not giving my phone number out like I used to. Send me an email. askmalachiah@gmail.com. Show me in the Torah where it says a woman is not allowed to teach anything. You ain't gonna find it. But anyway, what I was going to say before you interrupted me was Some things are not sin, right? Some things are weights, things that are just not necessary, right? And I'm not gonna get off into what we talked about because she remembers the conversation. But some things the Torah is not against, it doesn't speak against it, but some things are a weight to certain people, that certain people shouldn't do certain things because it's a weight to you, right? Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. It's not even what we talked about. Okay, is it a sin to smoke a joint? No, it's not a sin to smoke a joint. Is it a sin to smoke marijuana? No, it's not. Is it a sin to smoke a cigarette? No. if it's even Shaul said, where there is no law, sin is not imputed. Where is the law where it says that those things are sins, right? Is it a sin to drink alcohol? No. And I could go on and on and on. But a lot of things that are not sins, right, are weights, are things that beset us, right? Because some people can't drink a beer. They drink a beer and they become a pervert. Right? Or they become violent, right? Right? Or a spirit of the Eldros will hit them, right? You're going to look that up. With this spirit of the Eldros, you're going to look it up now because you keep hearing me saying it. Okay, but anyway, some people don't need to do different things that others do because once it's a spirit of the Eldro that may come on that person, right? To influence that person if they drink. Right? So we're talking about during this feast of unleavened bread, you want to lay aside the sin and the weight. Because that thing that leads you to do another thing, right? A person who lies might steal. And a person who steals might kill, right? So one little fox can spoil the whole vine because one little thing that you do that may be classified as either a weight or a sin may be the thing that leads you into doing the thing that's going to cause you to become unproductive. Right? I know I'm talking good. Right? Shaul said something about add to your faith virtue. And virtue, knowledge, etc., etc. Then he says, if these things be in you and abound, it make you fruitful, right? So I may have kind of re-paraphrased it, but you get the message. So you want to add the spiritual character during these feasts of unleavened bread, the fruit of the spirit, love, right? Love, right? So if you are a person that's self-centered or selfish, when you operate in love, love cancels out selfishness. So love, right? Let's flow in peace, right? Some people are full of chaos. Their life is full of chaos. Let's flow in peace, right? What Shaul said, be careful. See, because when you are anxious or is it careful, you're anxious, right? You're not flowing in self-control. See, Yah has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind or self-control, right? But going back to what I said, so Shaul said, be careful. Don't be in a hurry for anything, but in everything by what? Prayer, right? And supplication, right? Make your request known to Yah. See that? So when we operate in that flow, then it says the peace of Yah. See that? Because see, a lot of people have peace with Yah, but they don't have the peace of Yah. Peace with Yah, as we know, it just means that, I'm an Israelite. I'm walking in the covenant. I'm striving, doing all I can to be right and to serve Yah as he has called us to do it. But when you have the peace of Yah, that passeth all understanding, there is nothing that can be around you that can take away that peace of Yah. The devil can come the El Joes, they can operate around you. But because you have the peace of Yah, none of that will cause you to waver in your faith. Because why? You have the peace of Yah. And that's my prayer, that Israelites in this day and time, that we operate and flow in the peace of Yah. Right? This is where I'm striving to live, in the peace of Yah. Yes, we've done some foolish things in our past that have caused us pain and sorrow and caused us a lot of repercussions, right? But yet and still, through all of the baggage from the past, we can still walk in the peace of Yah, right? And when we walk in the peace of Yah, we will be restored in our health. We will be restored in our mind, in our spirit. We will be restored when we walk in the peace of Yah. So the peace of Yah that passeth all understanding. What is that saying? Yah's peace goes beyond what you can see, think, hear, or feel. The peace of Yah is that which gives us the ability to, like Dawid said in, was it 23rd Psalms? Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. When we're walking in the peace of Yah, all hell could be around us, but we are walking in, we can lay like Yahshua did when he was on the boat and it was a storm and everybody was in an uproar. You know, the storm was rocking. Messiah sitting on the boat sleeping. While everybody going crazy. That peace of Yah will cause you to have a peace while the whole world is going crazy. Why? Because you know in whom you believe. And you know where your power lies. You know where your authority lies. You know where your strength lies. Your strength is not in you, but it is in him. He that sits up high and looks low. And with that said, that's all I got. I want you to be encouraged during this Feast of Unleavened Bread. Get the leaven out. That friend that's causing you to be self-righteous and be ineffective to other lovers or other friends that may really want to hear what you got to say, cut them off. If your right eye offends you, plug it out. Right? If the left hand offends you, cut it off. Because the right hand ain't going to offend you. It's the left hand going to offend you. That's a whole nother lesson. Book of Jubilees talk about what's on the left and what's on the right. We'll talk about that in the future lesson. But cut that left hand off. Right? Cut that left eye off. Right? Cut it off. Right? And let's serve Yah in the beauty of holiness. And with that being said, that's all I have. And I bid you a Chag Sameach, a blessed feast of unleavened bread, and blessed new year, and Chag Sameach. Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.